So I want to start by saying, and I'm really fired up about this, the building's sold out. The building is completely sold out, and I am really, really, really excited to host this game in front of our fans. And, north of 69, 70, 71, 72, who knows what the final number is going to be. But I'm really, really excited about that. It's a just a great feeling to have our fans be able to watch an MLS Cup Final here in Seattle. Number two, I want to also pump the brakes. I mean, I appreciated Matt's article this morning and some other things and the hype and whatever else. I want to make sure that we understand that this isn't finished yet, that we still have a game to play. Just because we're here at home and, favorites, not favorites. Toronto is a very, very good team. And you saw what Greg did against Atlanta, some of his tactics, all of that sort of stuff. We want to make sure that the messaging is that this is a great opportunity for us to play in a sold-out building in front of our home fans, and we don't want to screw this up. We want to make sure that we put every effort into the game, the preparation for the game, to make sure that we give ourselves the best chance of winning the game. And then finally, just to put to bed any sort of controversy between Bob and I, there was no controversy there. Bob's a competitive guy, I'm a competitive guy. As I had a chance to reflect on, the last year, I'm starting to reflect on how we got to this point. Atlanta came in the league and Tata did a really good job. Bob did a tremendous job this year with his team to set the points record. And what that does in many ways is it makes me a better coach, or the regular coaches in our league, it makes them better, because as we push the level of this sport in our country, Almeida in San Jose, Gio's done a good job down in Portland. All of the rise in the quality of coaching makes us all better. And I think playing against LAFC, I think we were razor sharp in our preparation. The players were razor sharp in how they viewed the game. And so, I know Bob's not like this, he won't take credit for it, but, the standard of his team raises the standard of our league. And I think that's important. I think it's important for all of us to always keep pushing. We're not going to be happy if we can't go on the 10th and come out with a good performance. Regardless of the outcome, I want my team to play at the highest level, the level that we all saw during the last match. That's our goal for the game for MLS Cup. Okay?
Well, he might not have, you want to put it to bed, but was he complaining about anything as far as officiating?
Nope. That game was actually, I'll talk about the refereeing, Jada. Thank you for bringing that up, because I thought Jair did a good job. Because here's what coaches want. Okay, you could say that fouls here, fouls there, as long as he's consistent. So he let that first shoulder charge with Arriaga go, and then he continued the game in that fashion. He let the players decide. And yes, there were some moments where maybe in a different game somebody would have called that a foul. That's up to somebody else's judgment. But what Jair did really well is he was consistent from the minute he blew the whistle till the end, and I appreciated that.
You talked about how the building is sold out. Do you think that having MLS Cup and a 70,000 seat building full for this match will do for the soccer enthusiasm in the city and building more soccer fans in the city?
Well, I think we have a ton of them. Obviously, tickets went out really fast, but Atlanta's a big building. Ours is a big building. It would have been a great atmosphere at the bank. It would have been a good atmosphere. We've been to Toronto. That was a good atmosphere there. So, soccer. To my point about the coaches, we're getting these high-level coaches coming to MLS. We already have high-level players here, and our sport is is a growth sport right now.
The Sounders haven't hosted MLS Cup. You guys did host a couple USL Championship games. I was looking back at the 2007 game was here. What do you remember about that? Is there any comparison to the level of excitement and hype and all that?
Well, watching Craig Tomlinson take his shirt off and run down the field after he scored the fourth goal was pretty exciting. He was excited. The fans here at Starfire, that used to be, it still was even in MLS times, a fortress for us when we played Open Cup games there. So, look, the enthusiasm of our fans, whether there's 5,000 over there or 70,000 over there, we've always had enthusiastic fans. We'd always have loyal supporters. So, again, the building, more people, more volume, more excitement, it's a bigger deal. We get it. Those days are fond memories, but this is going to be a big event.
What is the growth of the scale? What does that say about it, though? I mean, 70,000 already sold out versus this. What does it say about how far you guys have come in, 12 years, I guess it's been since then?
Yeah. Well, again, Matt, I would say that it's due to the growth of the league. I mean, we certainly came in a good time for us, the city of Seattle, when a couple teams were leaving, stuff like that. So our growth was here in Seattle was a good moment in time. But then the league's overall growth, they're still adding teams. There's still a waiting list for teams that want to come into MLS. And so again, it just makes us a little bit more mainstream as far as the national sports, landscape.
What do you say as far as the overflow? There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be upset that can't get in. I mean, will they open up, T-Mobile and have seating there? Is there any kind of overflow plan?
Jada, I have no idea about that. I'm sympathetic for the fans that couldn't get in the building, but I have no idea what we're going to try and do to accommodate fans, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of sports bars around that would love to have their business, and it'll be a great atmosphere in the neighborhoods, people at home watching, I know my mom will be watching, stuff like that. So,
hey, Brian, you were talking about the Sounders, your place in the local Seattle sports scene. Pete Carroll showed you guys his win over LFC to the Seahawks. What does it just say about where you guys
awesome.
are at?
It's so awesome. I mean, Pete's a great guy. He's finding ways to motivate, to inspire, to do what he can do to, get his team fired up. And that's a massive compliment to our club to have Pete Carroll show that in front of his guys. I loved it.
You get this, huge reward of being here at home for the finals, but there's always the thought of also being added pressure. Is that something that you guys think about?
Yep. Because I use that messaging against LAFC. Which team has the most pressure? Is it the home team that's expected to win, or is it the visiting team? Now, the one thing I would say about this game is you can throw some of that out because it's a final. The players are going to be up for it. But there is that subtle pressure, Nico, that might be there, and we'll have to address it. We'll have to get the players through it. We'll have to give them the tools that they can mentally overcome any sort of feelings of nervousness or whatever. But I'm confident that my team can do it because, look, we went down 1-0 to LAFC, and they figured out a way how to come back.
Brian, how do you message the distractions to the players that come with, a final in terms of, what?
Well, we'll try and get all the ticket requests out of the way already by the weekend. The lead up to the game, all the media requests for MLS Cup, we've been there before. We understand it. We know it. We'll message them. The PR staff is going to do a tremendous job of making sure that the important people are taken care of, yet we also understand that the players need to focus on the game for sure.
You played Toronto back in April. You got the 3-2 win. What do you remember about that game that you can apply to this one?
I'm going to look at that. I mean, obviously, it was a good result. I think Josie had a couple goals. Will had a couple goals. Was it Will?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll have to do a little bit of research, but obviously the games that they've played as of late, they had a really good, stretch of 10 games to close out the season, and then their playoff performances have been very, very good.
We don't know if Josie's going to be appearing or not, but what kind of difference does he make out there on the field when he's up top?
It's a massive difference. It's like us playing without Raul.
For some guys on the roster, this is their third MLS Cup. How important will their experience be?
Good. It helps with all the media stuff, knowing what to expect in big games. But then again, I think all of our players have played in a big stage in their careers, whether it's for us, Seattle, or in their national team. So the guys will be ready.
There was certainly there was certainly a lot of good that came out of probably watching the tape over if you've done that already. Did anything stand out of what you did against LAFC?
Well, I would, without getting into all the specific details, I think overall the team achieved all of the objectives. A, number one, winning the game. B, number two, the defending. And number three, the attacking movements that we worked on, that we messaged them. The players were able to execute in those areas, both offensively and defensively. And they made that game. They were the ones that won the game.
Think about that 2017 final. I know you weren't obviously very happy at the end of that, but did it cause you to rethink some of your philosophies about the way you approach games or anything like that? And is there anything that you think you learned from that you've been able to use these last couple of years?
2017 final was, obviously not a good moment for us. We didn't play up to our potential. Yeah, there was things that I reflected on there, substitution patterns, all of that sort of stuff. The goal that they scored, how did they score it? It was a transition moment where we're too high up the field. I remember thinking to myself, okay, look, we're almost playing with house money. I mean, we went in there the year before and won. We can kind of go out there and let's see if we can't take it to them. I think I put an attacking lineup out there. And, you certainly learn from each game. I think the interesting thing about this is it's a grudge match. It's 1-1, and now they're here. And can't take Greg lightly because he's going to do the best job he can to get his team prepared. So a little bit different, certainly a few years in between, but I'll certainly reflect back on the 2016, 2017 games to see if I can't learn anything.
You mentioned the defending against LAFC, and one of the people that your players mentioned was Raul. Has he improved as a defender, or did he just stand out in it?
I think he always had it in him because he's a team guy. But the actual how he pressed, when did he and Nico press as a tandem, where we wanted to push LAFC, I think he followed the game plan very well.
Nico is very important for you guys as a leader at all times, I would imagine. But was there any time this season or any moment that you can sort of pick out that shows his leadership, or time that he was especially important for what you guys have done?
Well, I mean, one of his best contributions was that first day when he walked in, and normally we had music playing when we came back in from warm-ups. And he went over to the machine and he went boop, and music shut off. And he goes, we have to concentrate, total concentration. So in the locker room prior to LAFC, there was, some good chatter going around. All the players were pretty into it. I could tell that they were ready to go. And Nico was saying, okay, look, let's stay calm. Let's make sure we're focused. Let's make sure that we get our stuff done. And it's just those little moments of when he carries a big voice in the locker room. Maybe it's, hey, Ari, let's get this today. Let's slow down a little bit here. Let's don't get too fired up. It's those moments that are normal moments for us now because he's been here, but they're big moments.
As someone who's been affiliated with this scene for so long, you've seen it kind of from the ground up, all the ups and downs. What does it mean to you to personally be here hosting this game? I mean, did you ever think you'd see anything like this? 70,000 people, the whole city going crazy.
Well, I believed that if we ever brought MLS Cup here to Seattle, we'd fill the building. There was never a doubt in my mind. Not the way this club has been run, not the way the energy in the city. There's just no way that wasn't going to happen. So again, I'm just so proud of, the guys for making it happen. I'm proud of the organization. It's been great.
You not only filled the building, but you guys also crashed the site selling the tickets. What does that say about the sport?
Well, it means some IT guy's going to get fired somewhere.
Oh.
I'll let Alex and those guys. Alex told me about it. Again, the demand for the tickets was that high. Crashed the site. Again, it's just another symbol of people are fired up about this game.
Brian, what does it mean for Nathan Hale High School graduate to stand here in front of us and talk about bringing 74,000 people?
Yeah, well, it's kind of awkward when, you get some of the stuff, the media stuff about yourself. You guys know me by now. The team I have, Gonzo, Jimmy, they're in there today preparing Precky's flying back from his coaching school. Tommy's, always got the goalkeepers fired up. The support staff. We had a good regen session today at the Bellevue Club. All the sports science guys are doing their job. I got a really, really great group of people behind me. So it's easy for me to stand here and talk to you guys because I like talking about them.
As a Seattle guy, again, who can probably relate to this, how has Jordan Morris kind of approached the role as kind of this homegrown hometown hero? And how big is this moment for him?
Well, you'll have to ask him for specifics, but I think he does a great job because what he does is he has a serious disease and he has to control that and live with that. And he goes out of his way to help other kids deal with the same thing that he's had to deal with. So he's a very good ambassador. And, it seems like, he's, become okay with some of his notoriety. He's a shy kid. He's a nice kid, but he's dealt with it.
What did you see out of Javier Arriaga in this game against LAFC?
He was great. Next man up. We talk about that all the time. I think he played well.
And now I'm guessing it puts you in a position to, if Roman is healthy, you're going to have to make a coach decision. Is that based on strategy, on the week, on...
It'll be based on a lot of things, Nico. Same like Victor or Jovan Jones or, Nuhu or Brad. It all goes in my job's not easy sometimes, especially when you're making personnel choices.
Was it a tactical decision or was it an injury as far as with Roman?
We felt Roman wasn't quite 100%, so better not to risk him and better to put a guy in who's 100%.
And also with tactics or the way that you approach this, you mentioned the entire staff that you have, and the time frame to get ready for the finals is about the same as 2017 and 2016. Does it feel any different as far as the way that you're having to prepare right now since it's single elimination? Has that part changed as far as going into the
No. Look, we have enough time. We already have our schedule planned. We were already doing the schedule on the plane ride back from LAFC, depending on the outcome of the game the next night. So we had both scenarios already planned, and we'll try and make it as normal as possible for the players, just so they get into their routine. And 12 o'clock on Sunday, we'll kick off and we'll go from there.
Speaking of the outcome of the game, obviously you watched the game. Just what were your thoughts on the Atlanta-Toronto matchup, and would you allow yourself to kind of soak in that you were going to be hosting?
I was just at home with my wife. We were just watching TV like a lot of other people. But, I was pretty fired up when De Leon scored the goal. It was a great goal. So, we were happy, and then they were able to close it out. So, good for Greg. Good for Toronto.
What are 2 or 3 things you appreciate most about your general manager?
About my general manager? The guy standing over there working? Yeah. He's working hard. Again, I can go up as well. I have great bosses. Garth's a good boss. Adrian's a good boss. The whole organization, top to bottom, have done really, really good things since we've been around. And, I remember Adrian back in 2002, kind of taking over the USL team and then growing that. And then Garth coming on in 2015 and growing the club and the academy and all the success. So, I'm happy that I get to work with really talented people.
You've mentioned paying attention to the other sports in the city as well. Is Garth as good a GM as the city has seen, considering all the different sports?
Well, Garth's really, in the soccer world, he's got a really good reputation. I couldn't comment on, Ippolito and some of the other guys. I don't know enough information there.
What are you guys going to do if you win as far as the parade and the...
I have no idea, Jada. Pump the brakes, pump the brakes, pump the brakes. Okay, we have a game to play, and I'm serious about this. We are not going to message any of that. We're here to play the best possible game, and then after that game, then we'll talk about that.
Over the course of the week, how normal do you want training to be for these guys?
Normal. The same. Gorgeous day out here. The grass looks great. Normal.